How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to my Season 12 Xerath guide. If you guys don't know me, I am a Master / Grandmaster Xerath player. We will be going over in this build some runes, tips and tricks, how to play lane, and everything in between. Please like and subscribe and enjoy. Alright, runes, let's get into it. So 99% of the time, what I've been personally running is First Strike. To go down the rune page, it is of course First Strike, Magical Footwear, Dematerializer, and Cosmic. The two I do want to talk about and explain why. So Dematerializer, I actually play Xerath in the bot lane. Dematerializer is very much a necessity, just because when you're in mid, you kind of have the levels to full clear the wave once you do have your mythic item. But as an AD carry, when you are down levels, you need the Dematerializers on the first two melees and one on the mage minions to help you effectively full clear the wave with one combo. Viscus is a completely viable option as your other one. In this row, when you are playing on Xerath as an AD carry, I do run sometimes a approach velocity if I'm playing with a heavy CC support. It does work really well also just with you alone because your W and E can proc it. What this does, it allows you to run at 15% extra move speed when you slow them or stun them yourselves, or if someone else slows or stuns them, it allows you to move 7.5% faster, which allows me to get in better position to land my abilities. And of course, Cosmic Insight just reduces the cooldown of your summoner spells, especially if you're running TP. It is just the #1 rune to run. As for my secondary, it's pretty standard. You're gonna run Mana Flow because without Mana Flow, you're just gonna be constantly run out of mana. And for my last one is Gathering Storm. You can get Scorch. Scorch does win the first 20 minutes of the game, but Gathering Storm outskills past the 20-minute marker. Of course, if you don't know Gathering Storm, what it does, it just scales every 10 minutes. So it's kind of like what you want to play for. If you think that you really want to win the early game, by all means go Scorch. For these final three, honestly, when I'm playing mid / AD carry as Xerath, I actually run attack speed. I know a lot of people run double adaptive, but me personally, this helps me prep my own minions and get every mage minion, so it helps me CS so much better. So I would recommend, if you don't CS well, run the attack speed. Of course, last two, you go adaptive and armor, but if you are running mid against a mage, I would recommend going magic resist. Alright, let's talk about summoner spells. So for the mid lane, honestly, I like running barrier or TP. It kind of depends on the matchup. When I'm placing a very aggressive champions that I know I'll kind of need barrier, but if I know I can farm safe and I just want to prioritize on farming, I'll take TP in the mid lane. As for the AD carry for Xerath in the bot lane, I would normally take heal just because a lot of times you are skirmishing in the early game. So having heal is not really even priority for myself, it's for my lane partner. It's so we can, like I said, so we can skirmish early, because a lot of times it does make the difference. But for support, honestly, I normally run Exhaust, just because if you can effectively use Exhaust, it's one of the strongest summoner spells into mid to late game. But if not, as support, I would be running Barrier. Alright, so let's get into the builds of Xerath. There's two different builds I run, and they're quite standard. What are the two different builds? So there's a Liandry's Tank Killer build, and then there's a Squishy build. So normally the way what I tell people is how do you differentiate the builds is if you have two or more, if there's two or more bruisers on the enemy team, I'm gonna go Liandry's. And if there's of course only one bruiser or one tank, majority of the time I'm just gonna go Ludens. So let me start off with the Ludens build. My very first buy is of course Doran's. Nothing too fancy. On your first back after Doran's is Darkseal. You wanna go Darkseal, and then you wanna start rushing your Ludens. Of course, Magical Footwear to go proc in, then you go buy your Sork Boots. And of course, like I said, this is a Ludens build, this is for squishy targets. So if I notice the squishy targets aren't building much magic resist, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna first buy Shadow Flame, and then gonna go into Deathcap, Void Staff. If the game is going well, do make sure you upgrade this to a Mage Eyes. And that is kind of like my full build. If you're not doing well and you already sold your Darkseal or you didn't upgrade to Mage Eyes, honestly what I do is either time is probably go Horizon Focus. Horizon Focus is a really good like last item Just remember, this is only if you didn't upgrade to Magi's. This would be Sork's Boots. This is my full build when I'm facing squishy teams. So let's go into what we're doing when we're facing a tankier team. So when we're taking a team, like I said, very first item, we're just going to go Dorans. It's quite standard. There's nothing different. In your first back, you're always going to buy Dark Seal. So after you get Dark Seal, you're going to rush, of course, Liandry's. We're going to do the same thing as talked about before. If you're just doing amazing, you can upgrade this into Magi's at any point in time in the game, but we're just going to hold on to Dark Seal. But after that, so we're going to go Voice Staff. Voice Staff is our second item. We're going to then go into Death Cap. We're going to go into Horizon Focus. And of course, that's going to be our full build. Like I said, if you just straight up sold your Dark Seal because you're just not doing well, a really great item, honestly, is getting Morello because it will have constant uptime with your Liandry's every time it procs. If not, you can probably go a defensive, go Hourglass, go Banshees, but a lot of times I just have Dark Seal and I upgrade it to Magi's. Because you play so safe, that's just kind of the best build you're going to be running. Alright, so for the first tip, it's fairly simple. A lot of people already know about this tip, but to make your Q have a lot higher chance of landing, a lot of times what I'll do is, of course, throw it at my W. It applies a slow effect. Depending on where they are hit. In the center is, of course, is 60%, or on the outside is 25%, but this allows me to land my Q a lot easier on my targets. Alright, tip number 2. Tip number 2 is kind of an interesting one. So you can actually E-Flash as Xerath. I don't know much practicality of it, I've never really used it in game, but it's a really neat trick to know. So if there's minions or champions in front of you, and you're trying to get to the target behind them, you can E-Flash like this. It's kind of neat. Alright, tip number 3, the one I kind of feel like a lot of people have been waiting for. This is my tip for doing the ultimate. So a lot of people told me they see me fire really fast in comparison to other Xeraths. I know a lot of people like waiting to use their ultimates, like they try to wait to see how people movement, but honestly, I don't give people a chance to do that. So let's say that I'm ulting this person. I'm ulting this target dummy. How am I go ultimate? And let's just say his safe direction is towards tower. Let's say his tower is right here. How am I going through my ultimate? So honestly, my first art is directly on top of him. For whatever reason, a lot of people don't realize when they're actually getting targeted by a Xerath ulti. The Xerath line for his ulti is very small, so a lot of people don't even notice that they're being targeted. So the first one's always on them. The second one is actually slightly behind them. And this is because everyone's natural reaction when they first get hit is, oh crap, I am being hit. So they try to dodge back. So all I'm going to do is one on there, one slightly behind them, and for the final one, it's going to be slightly in front of them because they don't know what to do. They're going to be like, oh shit, I'm being targeted, I'm going to dodge back, oh crap, they're predicting I'm dodging behind, I'm going to just go run straight now. For whatever reason, I found that to be the most common kind of dodge tactic. It does change, people do catch on, but majority of the time, if I'm doing fast ultis, that's what I'm doing. One on top, one behind, and one in front of them. Tip number 4, the utilization of Fog of War. A lot of times, let's just say this is the enemy turret. If you've watched my streams a lot, you'll notice that I'm throwing Qs a lot of time from over here. And the big reason for this, and people, you'll be, when you notice, like, people aren't reacting. A lot of people are like, yo, why isn't this person reacting to your Qs? They're just standing still. Like, are they just bad at this game? But a lot of people don't realize, when throwing Qs from over there, look, you can't see an enemy champion right here. And the Q reaches all the way over here. So when you're harassing people, and you don't see a person charging up abilities, there's no way for you to react. All you see is, like, for 0.5 seconds as a spell indicator, and by that time, you don't have time to react unless they're already doing this type of deal. But a lot of times when they're farming, they're more focused on CSing. So make sure you utilize the Fog of War with using your abilities, whether or not it's in the bush, is standing right here, just using the max range of a Xerath Q to the best of your ability. Alright, so let's talk about laning phase. So laning phase of Xerath, as a lot of people have realized, is honestly not that strong. It does get stronger when you are playing as an AD carry. It can be very strong with a support, but if you talk about mid lane, a lot of times your 1v1 potential is not good. So what kind of mentality should you have going into these laning phases? So the mentality I have is Xerath is almost like in terms of a Kassadin. You scale really well with levels, really well with items. So your entire goal should be to go even in these laning phases. You never want to put yourself at risk of just falling really far behind. As you can see, especially in this like level 1, I'm actually just skipping the level 2. Like, I'm letting them push into me. I'm not risking a death of a level 1. They are hard forcing us out, but if you notice, we're honestly not losing much minions at all. We may lose 1 minion, if that, but we're literally actually just hiding behind tower, because I know in fact that like if I just farm and I go even, I'm gonna win. It's my win condition. I outscale majority of all bot laners, potentially majority of the mid laners too, if I just survive and go even. So that's kind of like my biggest tip I have for you guys, is literally just go even. If you focus on farming, prioritize on CSing over harassing, you're gonna find yourself doing a lot better, because it's all about surviving until you get that 1 to 2 item power spike, and then you can start taking over the game. And that is my Season 12 Xerath guide. If you do have any more questions about playing Xerath, please leave a comment down below, or join my Discord and message me in our community Discord. I do stream every single day at 2:30 Eastern, Biceps on Wednesday. Please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys.